I am a publisher, writer, editor, daughter, sister, auntie, dog mom, and many other things, including currently a cancer patient. But I am not a doctor or medical professional of any sort. What you are about to watch is an episode of my journey through cancer. I'm sharing my adventure with you in hopes that you'll find something here that's comforting and maybe even inspiring. This video is not intended to provide any sort of diagnosis or treatment plan. Please go talk with your doctor for professional medical advice.
Just jumping on quickly with some thoughts about King Charles's cancer diagnosis, but first some caveats. I, of course, have no insider information from Buckingham Palace. I'm working with a few facts that the palace has released and some observations and speculation from some actual oncologists online who have not examined the king, and my own recent cancer experience. First, the palace has indicated that the cancer was detected during the king's prostate procedure, but that it is not prostate cancer. The informed speculation from the online oncologists is that it is bladder cancer. That is, as I just said, speculation. We do not yet know what kind of cancer the king actually has, at least as of this taping, we don't. What is confirmed is that the cancer was caught early. This is key to a good outcome, early detection. I waited almost a year to go get a colonoscopy because I thought all I had was a hemorrhoid. And by the time I got to the test, my anal cancer was stage 4. I am having a blessedly stellar outcome considering that I started at stage 4. So here's my plea, people. See a doctor. Something feels off, see a doctor. And if nothing feels off and you haven't had an annual exam for a while, schedule one and let someone who knows what she's looking for have a look at you. So if anything is off, you'll know early and you can do something about it a whole lot earlier than I did. Second, and I know this might be a little controversial, but the king is well known to be interested in alternative therapies. I took advantage of several alternative therapies during my treatment, and I still continue most of them. I went on a keto diet immediately and totally quit drinking alcohol because cancer cells feast on sugar, and I wanted to starve the little bastards. I got regular massages to deal with pain and fatigue and treatment-related lymphedema. I started to meditate and use creative visualization to try to keep my head clear and picture all those dead cancer cells that the chemo and radiation was killing being flushed out of my body. I'm convinced that all of these alternative therapies helped me a great deal. But I also know that they have to be used in conjunction with traditionally Western cancer treatments. They can augment the treatment. They cannot substitute for a traditional treatment. I'm pretty sure Charles is going to be augmenting whatever treatment his highly and Western-trained doctors recommend with some sensible complementary alternative therapies, and this bodes well for a good outcome for him. Third, those Western treatments. According to several of the online oncologists, his treatment includes a course of pelvic radiation. Wow. Do I have some things to tell the king about pelvic radiation? The king has already started treatment, maybe less than a week at this point. Depending on the treatment he's having, the type of chemo, if there is chemo, and the extent of the radiation, and allowing that every patient reacts differently to different and or similar treatments, but noting that the king is known to be in otherwise generally good health, but that he's got 9 years on me, So radiation could clearly impact on a younger person differently than it does on someone who's 75. All that allowed, some commentators are wondering how a man who is undergoing cancer treatment can have the energy to travel from a townhouse to a country house for the weekend. I'll tell you the how that jumps immediately to mind. He's been in treatment for less than a week. After 1 week, I was able to do a happy dance upon getting my chemo pump removed after 5 days of drip. After 2 weeks, I was still going out to lunch after my treatment, still able to sit in a restaurant chair comfortably, and I was cooking dinner for myself in the evenings. After 3 weeks, I was still able to wear pants. But after 3 weeks and 1 day, let me put it this way. If on the very off chance that we would see the king appearing in public at that point, he would be wearing a kilt. But he's not going to be able to appear in public. Probably. He's going to be sleeping 18 hours a day. He's going to be cussing a blue streak every time he has to pee. He's going to be sleeping in the bedroom that has the closest bathroom. On the off chance, he's going to make it there every time he has to crawl out of bed to evacuate. The pain, the discomfort, the release of dignity required of pelvic radiation is the same for king and commoner, and like every human being, he needs and deserves our prayers through his suffering and for a stellar outcome at the end of it all. And let me say one thing, which I have talked about before: how to prevent having to endure the suffering for at least the sort of cancer I have just gone through. Anal cancer, that's the sort I've just been through. It's caused by an HPV infection. But there is a vaccine that prevents the sort of cancer I had. And parents, I beg you, talk to your kids' pediatrician about getting this life-saving, pain-preventing vaccination for your kids as young as 9 years old, kids over 18. If you're not already vaccinated, go to your doctor and get it now. And indeed, there is a special vaccine for adults, which adults can now get until they're 45 to prevent HPV-related cancers. I was too old to have the advantage of these vaccinations, meaning that they weren't yet developed and available when I was young enough to have had them. But young people today never have to go through the sort of suffering that I have just been through if they get 2 quick, painless injections. Get them today while you can. That said, I can't tell you how much I admire King Charles for talking about his cancer, even insofar as he has. I think he's doing a great service to people in terms of prostate health and cancer prevention. As a final note, I'm sick. I am all bundled up because I can barely breathe, and I'm astonished that I made it this far without breaking down into a cough. I got my infusion of Reclast last week. That's the last one that I have to have for 2 years to combat my chemo-induced osteoporosis.
So I look ridiculous, but I really don't care, because today is my last infusion before I get my port out in 3 days. And this isn't a chemo infusion. It's Reclast, which is to help combat the chemo-induced osteoporosis. So, ever onward.
And that infusion was supposed to have been my port's last hurrah before the port was removed, which it was supposed to have been 2 days ago. But I was diagnosed with RSV and bronchitis in the 2 days between the procedures, so the port removal surgery had to be rescheduled for when I can once again breathe properly. So I will be living with the port for just a little while longer than I had hoped and planned, and I apologize for the voice. Now I'm going to go have a nap and a cough, and you're going to go and pick up the phone and work it to make sure every young person you know has been properly vaccinated against HPV. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you'll be notified whenever a new video is uploaded. Don't forget to call your congresspeople to demand universal health care, and most importantly, don't forget to vote. Thank you for watching.